Good morning, children. Today, let us see Physics, Chapter 16 Light. So, you have been learning about the basics of light from grade 6. Yes, that light always travels in straight line, which is its rectilinear propagation property. So, if you have a straight pipe and look at a candle, okay, the pipe has two holes, okay, one at each end. And if you have the candle here, if you view through this side, the candle is visible because the light travels in a straight line. In case of a curved pipe like this, and if you wanted to see the candle, will you be able to see? No. So, this is the rectilinear propagation of light. The speed of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. And light requires no medium. It can pass through solid, liquid, gases and even in vacuum condition. Whereas your sound cannot pass through vacuum. This is the difference between light and sound. Light has dual nature. This I told you in detail in the refreshing class video, and I have also put that as the introduction part of this chapter in the previous video. So light has dual nature. It means light can travel as a wave like this, or as a particle, movement of particles. So that is why the light has dual nature. It is still in discussion that why light has dual nature. So much of analysis is going on to prove it experimentally. But we have to know the fact that light behaves as a wave as well as a particle. Okay? So now, think about the answer for the question, why do we need light? Light helps us to see in the dark. It helps us to see the objects around us. Yes, so you now look at the objects in the room where you are sitting. All these objects are visible to you with the help of the eyes. The human eyes are able to receive the images formed by the reflection of light. Yes, so you know this already, that we are able to see the objects only by the reflection of light. Only after sunrise we are able to see. After sunset, if there is no any artificial source of light like tube lights, lamps and candles, will we be able to see the objects around us? No, because there is no reflection happening. Only if the reflection happens in the presence of light, we will be able to see the objects around us. Okay. So what is reflection of objects? How is it happening? Reflection means bouncing back of light. You have already learned this in your grade 7. Bouncing back of light is called reflection. Consider this as a mirror surface, okay? The surface which I have drawn here and put some slanting lines indicates a mirror. Take a torchlight in your hand and switch the torch on in such a way that the torchlight falls in an inclined pathway to the mirror. You're not going to stand straight to the mirror and on the torch. You will stand towards right or left, and see that the light falls on the mirror in an inclined path. So what will happen is the light which falls on the mirror in an inclined path gets reflected in the opposite direction but of the same angle of inclination. For example, if this is your left side and this is the right side, you are standing in the left hand side and on the torch. Okay, the torch is on now. So the light will fall on the mirror with some inclination. Inclination means some angle, at some angle, but which is not a straight line, some inclined line, a slanting path with respect to the mirror. So the mirror will reflect. Reflect means bouncing back of light. The light which falls on the mirror is bounced back in the opposite direction to that of the incident light. This is called reflection. So whenever the light falls at a particular angle on the mirror, it gets reflected in the opposite direction of the same angle. Okay, so we call the ray of light which is falling on the mirror as incident ray, and which moves away in the opposite direction after reflection is reflected ray. I have mentioned the small r. So always remember that small I is your incident ray, small r is reflected ray after bouncing back. Okay, so in the reflection property of light, there are two laws called laws of reflection. There are two laws called laws of reflection. That is, angle I is equal to angle R. I is incident, R is reflected ray. So the angle of incident ray and the angle of reflected ray is always equal. How is that possible? How to find the angle first? For that, you need to draw a perpendicular line to the mirror surface. Perpendicular means 90 degree. So I am drawing a 90 degree line to the mirror which bisects, which divides the incident ray and the reflected ray in the center. Okay, so now I will measure the angle always with respect to this center line only. That central line has a name called normal. Normal means perpendicular line, that is 90 degree to the mirror. So this perpendicular line is the normal. With respect to the normal only, I will measure the angles of incident ray and reflected ray. Can you look here? I have put the angle measuring symbol of the incident ray with respect to the normal line, which is angle I. So angle of reflection is reflected ray, and the normal line in between I have drawn and measured the angle of reflection. These two angles will always be the same in case of reflection property of light. Understood? The second law of reflection is all the rays, incident ray, reflected ray and the normal, lies in the same plane. Yes, the incident ray, normal and the reflection all are lying in the same plane, that is in the mirror. They do not come from any other surfaces. They all lie together in the same plane, which is to be our mirror in this case of experiment. Okay. Based on the reflection, there are two types: regular reflection, irregular or diffused reflection. If this is a reflecting surface, again the example is a mirror. If so many rays are falling on it, like too many incident rays. I have indicated it as I1, I2, I3 means many incident rays. If the incident rays after reflection are bounced back in the equal angles and emerged out as reflected rays means then the type of reflection is regular reflection. It means all the incident rays in this case and the reflected rays are having the same equal angles. I1 is equal to R1. So, their reflection is a perfect one. I2 is equal to R2. The angles, okay? Angle I2 is equal to angle R2. So, hence the law of reflection is proved. So, this is a perfect reflection. Angle I3 is equal to angle R3. Again, law of reflection is proved. So, if the laws of reflection is proved, then it is a regular reflection. Look at this. Here the surface itself is already an irregular one, the reflecting surface, and look at the rays here, I1, I2, I3. I1 and R1 are not having the equal angles. I2 and R2 are again not having equal angles, hence the law is not proved. I3 and R3. The angle between the rays are not equal and hence the laws failed out there. So such type of reflection is irregular or diffused type of reflections. Then a reflecting surface will, like mirror, will exhibit the property of lateral inversion, which means the right will appear as left. Left will appear as right in case of a mirror. So we experience this daily when we stand in front of the mirror. Our right hand appears to be as left and the left hand appears to be as right. So these are some examples of the laterally inverted images. Take a notebook and write few letters. The letters would be inverted and shown when you show it in the mirror. This property of inverting the letters or showing the right as left and the left as right is the property of mirror. Okay, that is the reflecting surface, lateral inversion. So these are all the basics which you have already learned, children. Kindly go through it once, and if you have any doubt, contact me. Thank you.